if you there's a thing called neuroplasticity. So your brain
Mm-hmm.
actually could. So here's the example, right? So if you wear glasses and the image is flipped upside down and you see everything upside down,
Mm-hmm.
give it a week, your brain is going to readjust it,
Figure it all out.
figure it out, and then you remove your glasses and everything is going to be upside down. So there's a thing called neuroplasticity. It means that your brain starts adapting to the new normal, right?
Mm.
And so uh, that's what this will also do, which is that it can in time. So yeah, it's
That's
kind of
interesting because the brain is very powerful. Obviously, that's pretty much the point of that statement, right? You
yeah,
change something on the outward, your brain readapts and makes it, normal, right? Like, you look at a black and white picture for so long and then you put the opposite colors, it makes it color, right? Or something like
exactly,
that, right? Like
exactly.
it can almost warp your reality.
Yeah.
What process, if there's any, right, that are we doing to harness that concept, right? Like, because on a small level, very minute level, we've already talked about
Mm-hmm.
being like asthmatic. But when I remember early on, I
Mm-hmm.
remember when I couldn't find my rescue inhaler, I would
Mm-hmm.
panic and panic and panic, and
Yeah.
it would just feel worse and worse and worse. And I was just like,
Right.
oh, I have to stop, have to, lay down. And I thought this was the end.
Yeah.
But as I grew older, I realized, oh, if someone walked in the room that I was embarrassed about being asthmatic in front of,
Yeah.
my mind would completely change,
Yeah.
and I it would calm itself down
Yeah.
to where I will be able to get that sentence out. The same with like having to urinate, right?
Exactly.
Different mode, but still a body function. Yeah, when you're at the door and the door is not opening, it comes worse, or the intensity, the
That's right.
urgency of it, completely changes. So, what practices can we put in our everyday life that makes that more of a strengthening factor, right? That we can now begin to teach our children as they grow up and create stronger brains, and something that kind of gets passed down. Because I'm a firm believer, like, I don't believe in traffic. I don't believe that I'm having a bad day. I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah.
even,
Exactly.
and what
So
happens is that for some reason cars move out of the way, or my day just ends up being better, or if it started bad, it ends up being an amazing day anyway.
yeah.
Like, do you think that our brain is causing all of that also?
So there's a component of it, right? And on that, the one way to do it is actually cognitive behavioral therapy,
Cognitive
whereas your
behavioral therapy.
therapy. So, for example, people that actually have panic attacks,
Okay.
it's all mind, right? So, and some of them actually sort of just have panic attacks because their adrenaline is imbalanced, whatever.
Okay.
But I used to have it, right, and I controlled it. But basically, like if, for example, I don't know if you've seen it before, but like I sometimes take the tube in London, and I got
The
massively
tube. Yeah.
claustrophobic, right? So
Oh
the
wow. Yeah.
subway, right?
Mm-hmm.
So um,
It's like a bullet train, right?
no, it's just
Just a train.
a crowded tube, a crowded subway,
Got it.
underground
Understood.
subway, right? And it gets really claustrophobic. So your mind races, and basically how we teach children, ourselves adults, is actually to not catastrophize, right? And
Okay.
think of the worst, which actually is, to get out of the vicious circle. That's one way, but it's hard to kind of just do it alone. Sometimes you do need actually sort of the medical,
Mm-hmm.
either drug or uh, or what they call neuromodulation, sort of like fooling around with your electrical circuits.
Mm.
And so, actually, with regards to sort of like the urge, or where you have people having continence or whatever, there's already now solutions for putting implants
Okay.
in your nerves, and you're fooling around with it. Then basically, it will just kind of help you control, your urge to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, it's all there. But yeah, there is a component with the mind, but it helps, but not 100%.
So basically, what you're saying is with this electric, it's not like electric shock therapy, is that? Is that pretty
No,
much?
it's not. It's
Because
basically
that's just
that
something different.
something different. Yeah, completely. And basically, what it does is that you have some, electrodes, or just like a cable with a bit of metal at the
Mm-hmm.
tip,
Mm-hmm.
and it's close. It's several bits of metals close to a nerve. You put electricity in. What that does, it creates an electrical field, and that electrical field disrupts the signals going to the brain. So,
Got it.
for example, with pain,
which
back
was
pain, it will give you almost like as if you have uh, like not pins and needles, but when you're kind of like sitting on your leg a little bit and it feels like a
goes to
slight
sleep.
numbness,
Yeah.
and all of that is actually because your electricity actually is has been fooled around, right? So that's what it tries to replicate.
Mm.
And it's the good thing about it is that it's it doesn't cause permanent damage unlike drugs, right?
Right.
Or it only targets that area, not you taking opioids to kill pain and you feel drowsy and all that. You just it's
So this might be a little bit far fetched, but all of the things that you're saying are kind of leading to this. So will we inevitably have superpowers? Because if we can like turn off the system of pain,
mm-hmm.
maybe not fully, right? Or maybe not even the damage that pain does. You
Yeah,
bleed, you'll bleed, right? But
yeah.
the pain of it all will keep
Mm-hmm.
someone going a little bit further or a little bit longer. Damages, people will get stronger or faster because they don't.
That's really interesting. Yeah, and I think
Does that make sense? And at
that
least to the
is
layman's mind, right?
yeah. This is why we need kind of like to speak with people outside the bubble like you, right?
Okay.
To give us creative thinking, right? So yeah, could you imagine actually that's kind of called electrical doping? you know,
Okay.
we just invented a new word.
We just did, right?
Yeah, so
Because like, okay, I'm gonna run, but
yeah,
what happens is the after effect is that I won't be able to work out tomorrow. It's harder as much, and muscles grow with
mm,
breaking and healing and breaking and healing, and they're doing it with heat and cooling, but to completely be able to turn that off,
yeah,
even for a moment or for a period, seems a little bit
that is absolutely creative and yeah,
possible.
yeah, possible.
Wow, sign me up, Sergio.
I don't know. Natural is good, right? Well, okay, that
I have a very creative mind, but
was very good.
but you are a neuroscientist.
I work in the field of neuroscience, but I'm not a
Well,
neuroscientist.
I mean, it was cool to figure out how to make superhumans with you.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, yeah.